It's Tuesday, July 27th, 2021. I'm going to get right into it today. I'm watching the news, and I'll tell you, I believe that there's a good chance that we're going to see this economy shut down yet again. I think there's a 50 to 60% chance right now that as we enter fall, we're going to see this economy shut down again. And if this does happen, and I pray to God it does not, but if it does, this will be the last nail in the coffin for small, medium business. And you look at the fallout from the last shutdown, how many businesses, small businesses, were just decimated, gone. Was it thousands? Was it millions? Nobody even knows the number. And many continue to struggle right now today from what has transpired over the last year. But if we do see things shut down again, Costco will remain open, Walmart will remain open, Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's, all the big boys, all the corporations will remain open and do more business than ever before. The drive-thrus will be packed, Starbucks will be open, but what won't be open is the remaining small business, the mom and pop businesses, the little restaurants. They will be absolutely decimated this time around. And many of them have already been decimated. And if they're open, if the lights are on, they are feeling the pain from the last year. They're so far behind in rent and leases, so flooded with debt, they can't get caught up. They're hanging on by a thread. This will be the nail in the coffin. And if you're watching this video, get ready. This means you should probably have some emergency food put away, some water, some things of that nature. So if we see an all-out shutdown, you have things at home. Who knows what is coming? But this will be a full assault on Main Street. You're going to witness Wall Street just annihilate Main Street if this takes place. And all this is going to happen while the evictions take place, while people's cars are being repossessed, while people's homes will be being foreclosed on. All this will be taking place at the same time. You're watching the perfect storm, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get into an article that I read earlier today with Peter Schiff. And he says this: you can't count on the financial experts to warn you about impending crisis. And that is 100% sure. And we have so many crises coming, yet nobody is warning the average American about what is coming. The average American continues to just stick their head in the sand. They're spending money they don't have. They are just so delusional. They are in fantasy land. And we have got the perfect storm nearing. Peter says this: they say it's never going to happen. I think we can all relate. We all have family members, we all have friends and associates, co-workers that say that could never happen. The economy could never crash again. They say it's impossible. They do not understand the problems that underlie this economy, ladies and gentlemen. They don't understand the damage that is being done by Fed policy. In fact, these guys that you watch on the television every day, they believe everything the Fed is telling them. The so-called experts all believed Ben Bernanke when he insisted everything was fine. And then we saw what happened in 2008, one of the worst financial crises that we have ever seen. It could have been a lot worse if they actually allowed it to collapse. But instead, we are now nearly $30 trillion in debt and climbing because we never fixed what happened in 2008. We stuck a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound, and here we are today, higher up on the cliff, and the fall is going to be much worse when we are pushed off the cliff. They don't understand the damage the Fed is doing. They still think the Fed is putting out fires. They don't realize the Fed is lighting the very fires they're claiming credit for putting out. You keep pouring gas on a fire, the fire gets bigger than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing an enormous fire right now, and people don't even believe it. They don't see it. And these people are going to pay a huge price. And as I said earlier, there is a very good chance we're going to see things shut down again. People will be scared. They're going to be locked back into their homes. They're going to be afraid to go out. They're going to be more reliant than ever on the government for food and for money. We look at the massive student loan debt. There's so much debt across the board, ladies and gentlemen, but I was reading a couple articles on The Hedge today, going back to student loan debt, and as we are nearing the possibility of things shutting down, as we are getting more and more close to a historic collapse, as we near a crisis, this student loan debt, nearly $2 trillion now of student loan debt, it is an absolute cesspool that we're witnessing here. Student loans in their present scale did not exist prior to 1994. The student loan balance was zero. From zero in 1993 to 1.78 trillion in 2021. This is predatory financialization of higher education, which has enriched lenders, Wall Street, and the higher education cartel. And there was another article on The Hedge regarding what's happening with all this student loan debt. It's titled "Troubling Debt Loads at Graduation and Useless College Degree." Data from Paul Hill. He's on educate2career.com. Check it out. He says this: students pay an enormous amount of money getting a master's degree, which they believe will push them over the top and into the stratosphere of high earners. The reality is so many grads find out that there is little or no market for their skill set. And if you watched us in Texas, Aaron spoke a lot about a skill set, getting a skill set. I've spoke a lot about the cost of a college education. Is it worth it? Is it better to just get a skill set, a trade? Is it better than going into debt and then coming out of college and finding no job? They give an example in the article: 48,000 students who enrolled in history programs for their undergrad studies literally believe they eventually will become a history professor. Less than half of those who enroll in history actually graduate with that degree after 6 years. None become professors, while about 15% become elementary teachers. The ambitious are undeterred, and 1,900 of those 48,000 enroll in a master's program specializing in an arcane field of history. Roughly 80% graduate with a master's in history after 3 years, and almost none will become professors. Nationwide, about 300 jobs open up each year for history professors at the university level. All will require a PhD, and those who have dedicated 10 to 12 years of their lives and have $200,000 in student loan debt to prove it. These will be the candidates for these jobs. The same dynamics apply to other soft majors. He also said most major degrees, most business degrees are useless. Degree in humanities, your debt load at graduation is about $50,000 to get a degree in humanities. You will likely get a minimum wage job and struggle for life, he says in the article. And I want to close with this: 59 million Americans prohibited from buying high-end Dell gaming PCs. And I thought this was interesting, and I wanted to note it on the video today. You can check this article out also on The Hedge. When you go online to buy an Aurora 12 gaming laptop, a special notice appears which reads, "This product cannot be shipped to the states of California, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, or Washington due to power consumption regulations adopted by those states." If you try to order this gaming PC from Alienware and you live in one of these states, your order will be canceled. Alienware now offers a special version which addresses the regulation. So my question is this: so you can't even order this specific gaming machine, this laptop. How in the world are we here in California going to be switching over to electric vehicles if we're worried about power consumption by a laptop? The power grid must be more fragile than any of us even think. But here in California, we're relying on solar panels and windmills to supply our energy now, because now we can't even order a certain computer here. Yet we're being told that we're going to be driving electric vehicles, that we're going to be plugging these electric vehicles in. I mean, just imagine if you wanted to drive from here in Palm Springs to, 3.5, 4 hours to Las Vegas. How many times would I have to pull over in California to charge this vehicle up, and what would it do to the grid? I think if 10% of Californians had electric vehicles right now, the entire grid would just blow up. And that doesn't make me feel too comfortable knowing that our grid here in California, especially with the amount of heat that we're having this summer, the amount of people that live in this state, it's just an enormous amount of people, a huge population, that our grid is so fragile. Yet we're being conditioned that we're going to be driving electric vehicles. I think that's not going to happen if our grid is this fragile. But in this state, you can't even order a Porsche GT. What is it, the GTR or the GT3? Because it's too loud. The decibel level is too loud. So many of these regulations that we have here in California and possibly in your state. But going back to this, the power grid must be extremely, extremely weak. So I don't know how they're going to bring in electric vehicles into California and so many other states. The grid in America is so old, so dated, it's really becoming a relic, right? I don't know how America is going to keep up with the rest of the world, especially China. You look at China, the cities that they've built, the power grids, the technology, and I see eroding infrastructure in America. I see crumbling roads, crumbling airports, a power grid here that I can't even plug a laptop in because it's too overwhelming, I guess. But a lot happening, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm really, really concerned about this economy and more concerned about the potential, the possibility that this economy, not just in California, but throughout this country, could be shut down yet again. And what the repercussions of that are going to be. And of course, if they shut it down, they're going to have to pay people to stay at home. This means more money printing, more helicopter money, and we're already seeing the inflation, the massive inflation that has been caused in the last year because of all this money printing. Imagine what you're going to be paying for a gallon of gas if this economy shuts down again. The money printing, the amount of devastation to the US dollar that's going to take place here. Well, I think Russia and China are on the sidelines licking their chops. I think a lot of America is going to be up for sale. I think you're going to see farms and ranches and land and homes and resorts and vehicles and all kind of assets at some point here in America going up for sale, fire sale, blue light sale. And I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have the answers, but you've got to be doing something in preparation. You've got to be preparing for this. You got to have assets, put that food and water away, stay awake, be aware of what's going on. There is just something really almost very sinister taking place, and we are in the midst of spiritual warfare. This is a spiritual war now, I believe, of good versus evil. So look, I'm not perfect, I'm no angel, but I'm doing the best that I can, walking closer to God, saying my prayers, really try to walk a little bit closer to God and have a better relationship with God. And that's probably the best advice I can give today, because there is just a lot of evil out there, and just these ominous events that are coming. No amount of money or food or water can protect you from the evil. Okay? So make sure that you're walking close to God. And God gave us all a brain. He gave us all free will. And he's warning all of you, he's tugging at all of your hearts right now to put that food and water away, to have those assets, put a little cash away, and to open your mind and start thinking for yourself. There will be nobody to blame at the end but yourself if you did not prepare for this. You've all been warned. You all know in your hearts, your consciousness, your spirit is telling you right now something is very, very wrong. And this storm, this perfect storm is coming. It's not going to be stopped. God bless all of you. Look forward to talking to all of you very, very soon. Share this video with everyone. Blast it on your social media. Give it a thumbs up. Talk to all of you soon. Bye.